It was a gray Tuesday morning when little Lily Parker, a 7-year-old girl with a purple backpack and shy brown eyes, stood trembling at the edge of her schoolyard. Her tiny hands clutched the straps of her bag so tight that her knuckles turned white. The reason wasn't the cold or the early morning fog, it was fear. For weeks, Lily had been bullied by a group of older kids. They tripped her in the hallways, hid her lunch, tore pages from her drawings, and whispered cruel names as she passed. Her once bright laughter had quieted into silence. Her mother, Emily, had done all she could, talked to teachers, changed Lily's route to school, even tried walking her there. But the bullies always found a way to make her feel small again. That morning, Lily made a decision that would change everything. If no one could protect her, maybe someone unexpected could. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of good people doing extraordinary things, please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe. It helps us spread more real stories that restore faith in humanity. The story of how Lily met the Iron Wind Riders, a feared but misunderstood biker club, began that afternoon when her mother's car broke down near an old brick building on the edge of town. It was a place most people avoided. Chrome bikes lined the front, and the rumble of engines echoed like thunder from within. The building bore a faded sign, Iron Wind Riders MC. Emily was nervous, but with Lily in the passenger seat and no cell signal, she had no choice but to ask for help. When the heavy door opened, a tall man with gray streaks in his beard and tattoos climbing up his arms stepped out. His name was Hunter. He looked intimidating, his vest, his gloves, his cold stare, but when he saw Lily's frightened eyes peeking from behind her mother, his expression softened. "Need a hand?" he asked quietly. Within minutes, Hunter and 2 other bikers had the car running again. Emily thanked them, fumbling through her purse for cash, but Hunter shook his head. "Keep it," he said, "just pay it forward." That night, Lily couldn't stop talking about them. The way they moved with confidence, the way they spoke calmly yet firmly. They looked dangerous, but somehow she'd never felt safer than she did in that moment when Hunter crouched down and smiled at her. Days passed, and the bullying grew worse. One morning, Lily came home with torn homework and a bruise on her knee. That night, she sat on her bed, hugging her purple backpack, and whispered to her mom, "Mommy, what if those bikers could walk me to school? Maybe then they'd stop." Emily hesitated, torn between fear and desperation. The thought sounded ridiculous. But when she saw the pain in her daughter's eyes, the kind of pain no child should ever feel, she knew she had to try. The next morning, Emily drove to the Iron Wind Riders clubhouse. As the rumble of engines quieted and the doors opened, every biker inside turned to look at her. The air was heavy with the scent of oil and leather. Emily's voice trembled as she spoke, explaining Lily's situation, the bullies, and her strange but heartfelt request. There was silence for a moment. Then Hunter stood up. "You're saying she's scared to walk to school alone?" he asked. Emily nodded. Hunter's eyes darkened, but not with anger, with purpose. He looked around at his brothers. "We've all got pasts," he said, "but maybe it's time we show this town what we're really about." The next morning, the sound of 10 roaring engines broke the stillness of Maple Street. Neighbors peeked through their curtains, kids froze mid-step, and even the bullies who usually waited by the gate stepped back. Lily walked between 2 towering bikers, Hunter on one side and a woman named Raven on the other. Raven had a long braid, a patch on her vest that read "Ride for Respect," and the kindest eyes you could imagine. Lily clutched her backpack tightly, her little sneakers echoing softly against the pavement as the motorcycles idled behind her. The bullies didn't say a word. They just stared as the bikers escorted Lily to the school entrance. Hunter knelt down to her level and said, "You're safe now, kid. You walk tall, you hear me?" That morning, for the first time in months, Lily smiled walking through those gates. But that wasn't the end. It was just the beginning. Word spread quickly. Parents whispered, teachers gawked, and soon, local reporters showed up. At first, some people judged. "Those bikers around children?" they said. But as the days went by, something remarkable began to happen. The bikers didn't just drop Lily off. They stayed nearby, standing quietly as guardians at the edge of the schoolyard, engines off, arms crossed. They never spoke unless spoken to. They never caused trouble. And slowly the kids who once mocked Lily began to approach her, not with cruelty, but curiosity. They asked about the bikers, about their bikes, about the patches on their vests. Lily told them that the patches meant family, loyalty, and respect. The bullies, once so bold, began to avoid her altogether, not out of fear, but because something in them shifted too. Seeing those rough men and women protect a little girl without asking for anything in return, it stirred something deep inside. Soon the Iron Wind Riders started escorting not just Lily, but other kids who felt unsafe. A single act of kindness had sparked a movement. But one morning, everything changed. Hunter received a letter from the school district warning the club to stop their escorts. Some parents had complained, saying the bikers' presence was too aggressive and unnecessary. Hunter didn't argue. He respected authority. But when he told Lily's mom about it, she broke down in tears. Lily had finally started sleeping peacefully again, finally believed in people again. That evening, the entire club gathered in their meeting hall. The atmosphere was heavy, the only sound the flicker of an old neon. "We're not giving up on her," Hunter said. "We'll just do it differently." The next morning, instead of riding to school, the bikers parked 2 blocks away. They walked Lily the rest of the way on foot, leather vests, tattoos and all, but without the rumble of engines. They stood at the crosswalk, waited until she went inside, then quietly disappeared before the first bell rang. When the principal came outside, he saw Lily smiling, her hand raised in a confident wave toward the corner where the bikers had stood moments before. The man sighed and said softly, "Maybe this town needed a reminder of what protection really looks like." Days turned into weeks. The bullying stopped completely. And one afternoon, when the school held an assembly about courage and kindness, the principal invited a surprise guest. Hunter and Raven walked onto the stage. The kids gasped. The parents whispered, but then the principal spoke. "This," he said, gesturing toward them, "is what it means to stand up for someone who can't stand up for themselves." The applause that followed was thunderous. From that day on, the Iron Wind Riders became local heroes. They started a community initiative called Ride Safe, pairing bikers with children who needed support, kids from rough neighborhoods, foster homes, or bullying situations. They organized charity rides for school supplies, food drives, and even sponsored scholarships. The very same town that once feared them now welcomed them with open arms. As for Lily, she grew stronger each day. Her laughter returned, brighter than ever. She began drawing again, sketching bikes, leather jackets, and the faces of the people who had shown her that not all heroes wear capes. Some wear tattoos and ride Harleys. Years later, when Lily was in high school, she gave a speech at her graduation. She spoke about bravery, kindness, and how a group of misunderstood people once showed her that being strong isn't about how you look. It's about how you protect those who can't protect themselves. Hunter was in the crowd that day, his hands folded, tears shining in his eyes. After the ceremony, Lily ran up to him and hugged him tightly. "You saved me," she whispered. Hunter smiled. "Nah, kid," he said softly, "you saved all of us." Because through helping her, the bikers had found their own redemption. Men and women with past mistakes had discovered new purpose, guarding innocence, spreading kindness, and proving to a doubtful world that people can change. The story of Lily and the Iron Wind Riders became a legend in their small town. A story told not just in newspapers but in hearts. A story that reminded everyone that strength and gentleness can live side by side, that sometimes the scariest-looking people have the biggest hearts, and that one small act of courage from a little girl can heal an entire community. If you've ever felt alone, scared, or judged unfairly, remember this story. Because kindness doesn't always roar. Sometimes it rumbles softly on 2 wheels beside a little girl walking to school. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe. It helps us bring more real, emotional stories of hope and humanity to the world. Before you go, comment below, what's one act of kindness you've seen or done that restored your faith in people? Your story might just inspire someone else today.